When will we get a $1,400 fourth stimulus check or some type of ongoing monthly payment? I have all the details and what you need to know right here in this video, so let's get right into it. All right, the big question that everybody wants to know the answer to. When are we possibly going to see a fourth stimulus check, whether it happens to be $1,400, $2,000, $1,000, $500, or any other amounts? When could we possibly see something? Or the other question could be, when are we going to see some type of ongoing monthly payments, especially focused on the low income? These are some really good questions which I want to focus on right here in this video, so let's get into it as there are a lot of moving parts about this and I want to shake it all out right here in this video. So let's get into it. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video. There's a lot going on right now and I'm watching everything very closely as your one and only daily advocate. I'm bringing it all back and breaking it down into these short videos so that you can stay posted with what is really going on right now, especially as it pertains to money, benefits, new bills, piece of legislation, packages, checks, stimulus, raises to benefits, and anything else that may be popping up right here, right now that we can take advantage of. So again, thanks so much for joining me. I truly do appreciate it. Please remember, I'm here for you each and every day, right by your side as your one and only daily advocate, and I truly want to help you out in any way that I possibly can. All right, thanks again. Subscribe down below, and let's get right into this video. All right, so there are actually many moving parts about this, and I want to talk through the details, especially with the latest details that were released on this and some new information that we just learned out of key senators as well and the next package that they're currently working on. However, I do want to also break down a few different windows that we want to pay attention to because these are some very important windows where they may want to get something done either between these windows, during the windows, or sometime before these key windows that are going to be approaching. All right, so which, by the way, I also want to point out a couple other things that are currently going on right now that could actually issue more checks to go out. So let's get into it and discuss what is really going on right now. First off, I quickly want to talk about some new information that we just learned a couple days ago in regards to a couple key senators that are currently working on the next package behind closed doors. Yeah, I talked about this a few days ago, but Chuck Schumer, who happens to be the leader of the Senate on the Democratic side, and Joe Manchin have been quietly working behind closed doors on the next package. So they haven't been telling us about this simply because we've seen what happened here over the last 2.5 years or so, which is they've been working on packages and a lot of them come to the table and then they never actually get passed, just like the one that they worked on virtually all year last year in 2021, only to fail near the end of the year. Remember that? Yeah, so that's probably why they're not telling us about it, simply because, you know, they kind of want to keep face when it comes to all this stuff. But anyway, it was leaked and now we know about it, so they are quietly working on this behind closed doors. Here's what we do know. We know this is going to be a smaller package. Well, the last package was over $2 trillion, so, you know, it could be $1 trillion, it could be $800 billion, it could be $1.2 trillion. Not really sure what the amount is going to be, but they said it's going to be smaller and more focused. But the deal is, let me throw this out there as well, we only need between about $70 and $100 billion to get out a fourth stimulus check in the amount of either $1,400 or $2,000 for about 50 million people. So we wouldn't really need that much money, considering, you know, this package could be a couple $100 billion, whatever it happens to be. But anyway, the money will certainly be there. Let's just throw that out there as well. Next, I want to quickly talk about the timeline on this because this is very key. So they've indicated that they want to get this thing done within the next 6 weeks or so. Time is ticking pretty fast here, and that 6 weeks is going to go by very, very fast. So anything could happen at any given point. We've seen this happen here over the last couple of years where sometimes they come forward and things get done very, very quickly. They introduce a package and then boom, it's done in 2 weeks, or it's done in a week and a half, and things are changing very rapidly as we get the details on it. Or it could be one of these that they drag out for 6 months and then they never actually get passed. It could be any of the following, right? So we've seen all of these play out. So basically any time between now and the next 6 weeks or so is when they want to get this next package done. Now remember as well, by the end of September is the end point of the fiscal year for the federal government. So the federal government ends their fiscal year for 2022 at the end of September, and the 2023 fiscal year starts as of October 1st. Well, that might be another key deadline that we want to take into consideration here as well. We also want to remember this much as well. Going into early November, I know it seems like it's a long time away from right now, but it's really not. It's not that far away, right? Time goes quickly, and that's when the midterm elections are coming in as well. So a couple key deadlines here and a couple key windows that we want to pay attention to. Next, I want to throw this out there. This is also something we need to watch very, very closely because it is currently happening right here, right now, right before our very eyes. We're watching this happen. So I want to throw this out there. And again, I know that some of us here in the community may not watch this very closely, but I want to say this much. You want to watch this because this could be the key indicator that could indicate more money being pumped out. And this is what the Federal Reserve is going to be doing, okay? So right before our very eyes, right here, right now, we're watching the stock market collapse onto itself. We're watching the real estate market roll over and basically start to collapse. We're seeing everything else starting to roll over. The cryptocurrency market has basically imploded. Pretty much everything right now is collapsing onto itself. The Federal Reserve is rapidly rising interest rates. Now, how does this actually translate into potential more checks? Let me tell you this much. When the economy collapses, which it's already doing right now, we're basically already in a recession, even though it has not already been identified yet. We're pretty much already in a recession. The fact of the matter is, however deep this thing actually gets, how bad it actually gets, this could actually be the trigger point for another check to actually go out. So even though we might be thinking, wait, we're looking for a COVID check. Yeah, we could be looking for a COVID check, but at the end of the day, like I said before in other videos, in the event that another check is actually distributed, it's probably not going to be under the COVID excuse anymore. Maybe it will be. COVID could be the reasoning behind it, just because they don't want to admit that the economy is imploding and that they don't want to say like, hey, we're sending out this check so that we can spend it and actually pump up the economy again. So they might use the COVID thing as just kind of a reasoning behind it. Either way, it doesn't really matter what their excuses are or what they say the reasoning behind. We don't really care. Just show us the green, right? That's all we care about at the end of the day. So that's what I want to point out as well. I've already seen some reports coming out saying the Fed might actually reverse their course here and start easing again. That would be that'd be unbelievable if that's the case. Because here's the thing. The Federal Reserve has been raising interest rates. Again, I know that we don't watch this stuff all that closely and that many of you might not care all that much about it, but it is something that we got to watch because this may be a key indicator going forward. But say this much. If the Federal Reserve continues to increase interest rates and they continue tightening, meaning basically a manufactured crash in the economy and the markets, then we got to watch that. However, if they reverse and they start easing, in other words, printing money, that's when we got to be all ears, because when they fire up the printing presses once again and they start printing up trillions or hundreds of billions of dollars every month, that's when we got to pay attention, because then they've recognized, hey, the economy's in a bad situation. We've collapsed the markets. Therefore, we got to get money out into the system and we got to prop this thing back up again. Well, when these things happen, sometimes they do issue checks, not chicks, checks, sorry, checks. They do offer checks sometimes, and they do send those out to the people every so often. So just like we saw back during the last recession, what did they do the last couple of recessions that we saw? Well, we saw a recession in 2008 and 2009. What did they do? They sent out checks. What did they do during the 2020 recession? Again, they sent out checks. What do you think they're going to do during the next recession? Are they going to send out checks, or is it just going to be a black swan event where they're not going to send out checks? I bet they're going to send out checks. I'm just saying, because that's how they have to get the economy pumped back up, and they can do it quickly, is by printing money. They send it out to the people, and they tell us, spend the money, please, spend the money. So this could be another catalyst to get more checks into the pockets of the people. Kind of makes sense? So anyway, we have a whole big bunch of divergences happening right here. A bunch of things are happening all at the same time, and any one of them could actually issue additional checks going out. So here's the thing. We've also heard out of the president, well, I should say the administration. We've heard out of the administration as well as many lawmakers here just recently in the last few days here. They've wanted to come forward and send out these ongoing monthly checks, whether it happens to be in the form of direct deposits and or prepaid debit cards for Americans. And again, at the end of the day, if it's a prepaid card and money's loaded onto it, does it really matter if it's a direct deposit into our bank account or if they give us a card that we can just go and spend it on whatever we want? same thing, right? It's still digital money, whether it happens to be in the form of a plastic card in your pocket or a direct deposit into your bank account. Money is money, right? It all spends the same, right? Classic line, I'm pretty sure I've heard that's from a few people, where they say it all spends the same, right? So it's the same thing. Whether it's on plastic, it's digital, cash, coins, whatever it happens to be, it doesn't matter. It all spends the exact same. So anyway, there's a lot of convergences here happening right now with everything going on, but I want to bring this to your attention to let you know that we're kind of up against some pretty interesting timelines here. I would say basically anytime between now and the next, 5 months or so is going to be a very interesting time. There's going to be a lot of things that happen. There's going to be a lot of talk out of Congress. There's going to be a lot of talk out of the administration, and there's going to be some kind of, drastic measures that go forward here, because with all of this happening at the same time and the midterm elections thrown into the mix, there's going to be some interesting things that happen here. So I can't even imagine what the announcements are going to be. But for those of you that have been wondering, when are we possibly going to see something? In the event of something actually being approved, whether it happens to be a one-time lump sum check, whether it happens to be monthly payments, whether it happens to be a prepaid debit card, whatever it happens to be, in the event something like that happens, remember these couple windows, pretty much between now and the next 6 weeks, or pretty much now and the next 4 to 5 months or so, is going to be the key window that they need to watch, and they need to get something out if they are actually going to do something in the first place, right? So there's a lot of discussion out there right now to get another check out to the people. There's a lot of discussion. There's a lot of proposals to get money into the pockets of the people. If they actually move forward on one of these proposals, if they actually want to get money into the pockets of the people, if we see the economy roll over, which it's already happening, so that's already confirmed. When we see all this happening, depending on how bad things actually get, I mean, can we imagine it actually getting much worse than it is now? It's real. It could actually happen. But in the event that that does continue to happen like that, we could see some pretty drastic measures going forward here. And some of it could result in either big lump sum checks or ongoing monthly payments. So, of course, as I do get more details, of course, I'll be right here for you, breaking it down, letting you know what is really going on and how it may impact us or our bank accounts / money in our pockets going forward. So again, as I get more definitive information, of course, I'll be here for you in any way that I possibly can be. But I wanted to break this down for you and let you know we are basically entering into a very, very important time here right now. We're pretty much in it right here, right now. They've got to do something. If they're going to do it, they got to do it soon. So anyway, of course, I'll be right here for you, helping you out in any way that I can. Make sure to leave your comments, your questions, and your feedback down below. Subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And of course, share the video with your friends, family, and social media. And go back and check out some of those other thousands of videos right here on the channel. And until next time, have a nice day. I hope this one helps you. And please remember, I'm here for you in any way that I can be as your one and only daily advocate. Enjoy. I'll catch you again later in the next video.